The original Wolverine and Susan Storm find themselves in captivity within one of Tony Stark's helicarriers. While the Defenders wait outside, Emma Frost and Charles Xavier extract the memories from their prisoners on Tony Stark's orders. Learning of their interference with the Prime timeline, Tony is both amazed and horrified. He verifies their memories by pulling up old S.H.I.E.L.D. footage showing Wolverine murdering Pym. An aggravated Stark then interrogates Wolverine, accusing him of breaking the world. Due to Pym's absence, not only has Thor left, Tony been maimed, but Morgana lafaye has become a serious threat, controlling a large part of the world. While Stark continues his interrogation, the impatient Defenders break through the Stark Guard perimeter looking for Susan Storm, who uses the distraction as a means to escape her confinement. Though Stark corners the fleeing Susan, their confrontation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Morgana le Fay's forces. The Defenders spring to action, soon followed by Stark and his drones. And Stark cannot help but feel that the appearance of the two time travelers has something to do with Morgana. But a perplexed Morgana denies any knowledge of Stark's accusations and instead points his attention toward his helicarriers. It would seem that Morgana is winning.
So Morgan Le Fay is actually in Age of Ultron now. Bendis is, bringing some of his previous characters back, which is kind of cool.
I'm very surprised that she is the villain that is really taking advantage, I guess, of the change in the timeline.
She really embodies magic well, which sort of seems to be a general theme that Bendis is going with in this issue. Tony Stark specifically says, in the battle between technology and magic, magic won, and Asgard abandoned them.
I'm not exactly sure what message he's trying to drive home with this, unless magic is going to be the solution to everything, now that magic's in play.
I kind of hope not. I think it might have more to do with one of the stronger players on the technology side was Hank Pym, and without him, leveling the scales, it just tips away from technology.
Last issue, we sort of debated if now Tony Stark has taken over the role of mechanical overlord, and we do see that Starkguard is pretty damn powerful in this issue, though I don't necessarily see him as like an overlord per se.
Yeah, I think he's more just a man forced to do bad things because of the situation he's in.
Yeah.
One thing specifically that kind of bugged me was he was using Xavier and Emma Frost to just, psychically interrogate people. It seemed like something Xavier wouldn't really be up for.
One of them even points out that I'm not okay with this, but they go along with it anyway, sort of indicating just how powerful Tony Stark is in this world. Even the entire Defenders team seems to be completely marginalized just by one man. He says, no, you guys stay outside. I don't care, you brought them in or anything. It's just, this is my thing now.
I think it also might have something to do with how powerful Morgan Le Fay is now that she seems to control Europe and, a large section of the world. But looking specifically on the interrogation of the original Wolverine, I kind of like how Stark at first thinks this is part of Morgan Le Fay's plan. He says this can't be real. He specifically says it's a fantasia of insanity. But it was also pretty cool how he talked to him about killing Hank Pym. And he says, why didn't you try this? Why didn't you try to reason with them? And I thought Wolverine's answer was just great when he said, it's a religion to you guys. You see something worth building, and you're gonna build it. You have to build it. And I think that's very true.
In that review, we brought up how Wolverine seems to walk in at the exact time that Hank Pym sort of thinks of the Ultron idea. And so, if we talked about then, if he hadn't come in at that point, he might have been able to reason with them, but he already had the idea, so he was he knew that he was just going to build it. I liked how Tony Stark actually threw out a lot of ideas, saying that, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you use a time virus? He brought up so many different possible solutions that the other Tony Stark or no one really even considered in the beginning of this series.
But at the same time, Wolverine didn't seem to be having any of it. He's like, whatever, bro.
Tony Stark emphasizes how this world might be just as bad as the Age of Ultron world or other iterations, and I think he's kind of just a bit bitter because he seems to have lost a lot because of his Wolverine's decision to kill Pym.
But maybe it is just as bad. I mean, maybe you're just replacing an Age of Ultron with an age of, magic domination.
But even the Xavier and Emma Frost sort of say that at least we're alive in this one.
Fair enough.
Right? And I think Stark is just kind of bitter that he's been completely torn apart, in the Latveria Asgard wars that he talks about. His friend Thor is gone, which is a whole nother point, I think. Very interesting that the entire series, Thor has been conspicuously been missing in multiple timelines, and I don't know if we're reading too much into it, but I think Thor's appearance, if at all, is going to be something of great importance.
So I felt one of the major differences between this issue and the issues in the rest of the series is just the pace. It really seems to be going quite a bit faster.
Yeah, the initial part of this series was incredibly slow. I would say the first 4 to 5 issues was almost entirely just build up.
Yeah, I mean, you rescued Peter Parker. You found out Vision was like the conduit for Ultron to control things from the future.
Everyone sort of gets together in the Savage Land, and then stuff sort of starts happening. You have the Hank Pym death, which was a big occurrence, but then last issue, you slow it down again. Last issue I felt was incredibly slow. But finally things seem to be picking up, and I think it's just going to be a sprint to the finish line at this point.
I really hope that it is. I mean, I think it's been pretty good. One question, though, is do you think the beginning will tie together with the end?
I'm just personally just looking for some connection to the current Marvel universe. I honestly have no idea where this is going. We haven't seen Ultron the entire time. We're stuck in some weird timeline. We don't know what's gonna happen. Now Morgan Le Fay's in the picture, and the next issue is just Wolverine versus Wolverine. I mean, what? How is that gonna play into anything? Why is that important?
I think it'd be kind of cool if we just have dozens of Wolverines all stabbing each other, trying to stop them from killing Hank Pym, but then deciding, no, we do need to kill him, and just go back and forth. It's like a time paradox. But I also do hope that the series does tie back with the beginning. I felt like they spent so much time with the Hawkeye Spider-Man build-up in the first few issues, and they haven't been around for at least 3 issues. So make their arc worth something.
So for Age of Ultron Book 8, what would you give it as a grade?
I'd give this issue a 4 out of 5. The series has finally gotten really interesting. This is the best issue by far. The pace, like we said, has picked up quite a bit, and I really hope, as Kurt said, it's a sprint to the finish.
I would also give this issue a 4 out of 5. Definitely one of the best issues of the series. The thing I love the most is that I really have no idea where this is going to end. And in a series this long, for the last 2 issues to not be predictable, I think is a great feat to accomplish. So I'm looking forward to the end.
So thanks for watching B3 Comics review of Age of Ultron Book 8. Before we go, we got a question for you guys.
So how do you think Age of Ultron will be resolved?
Leave your answer below in the comments, and if you like our video, subscribe and give us a thumbs up.